Hello my 7 Deadly Sins family and friends, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to cover Clotho as a DPS, as I said from my last video. We're obviously going to do her with her staff. I have seen some pretty crazy stuff DPS wise with her rapier, but I do think you need higher potential for that. So without further ado, let's look at the team and kind of what she does with her staff skills and go over what you want to build with her. So let's go into this. I'm keeping her beef P4 because we're going to compare her to Elaine, because my Elaine is P4 as well. So currently she's got about 18,000 attack. With food, I think that should get you to around 20,000, which is kind of what you want. If you're using her on rapier, that is. But it's still good to have around 20,000. With her weapons, we're using her rapier. So we've built her rapier with 2 stars. It doesn't have any equipment attack, so we're losing about 300 attack on there-ish. Around that. So obviously we have the maximum broken grimoire with max equipment attack here, and then the main weapon. Again, 2 limit broke. We've just got a bunch of the fragments from first clears, or at least a little bit. So I think 2 is an okay, either for free to play. The rolls we've got are okay. Really, it's just this one we want. I kind of wanted crit chance, crit damage, wind damage. And the reason why we actually want wind damage or normal attack damage above crit damage or even wind attack is because there's been some testing done, and elemental damage, not attack, and skill damage scale way better than anything else. So your first choice is wind damage, normal attack damage, because that's where her damage comes from, and then it goes down to crit damage, and then attack, and then wind attack. Wind attack is terrible. Elemental attack is so bad, just so you know. Anyway, we've got a decent roll on normal attack. With her armor, we've got a 129 level 3, which is really nice. I did use scissors twice to get this level 3, and I was very lucky. As we know, it's kind of rubbish with how it is at the moment, and I was quite lucky. And then I've re-rolled this a few times, and I haven't had much luck, but normal attack damage is quite nice, and then magic charge efficiency, it doesn't hurt, you know. With the level 3 of this, basically increases the duration of Dimensional Awakening by 10 seconds, so this is doubles, and then attacking an enemy within the duration inflicts dimensional expansion on the target for 20 seconds, so that's really good too. And we'll go over what these are just in a moment. And then each hit on an enemy with dimensional expansion increases as in your normal attack damage, this is what they mean, but from the caster up to 35%. So basically I'm getting a free 35% attack damage on top of what I've got on my staff and on here as well. Obviously 2-piece bad minor, and I've got this ring which I can actually switch to get a little bit more, tiny bit more with this. So let's switch that over so I get a tiny bit more. Let's go over her skills now. So her passive increases wind damage by 25% for 20 seconds each time that hero activates Dimensional Wave or Dimensional Tear using the normal skill. So up to 75% more wind damage, which is massive just as a passive. Normal attack it's just normal stuff. Her special basically creates a zone similar to Manny's, but it's just for herself, I believe. So while she's inside, hero's crit chance goes up by 20% and crit damage by 40%. Really nice. And then you can reset it and place it somewhere else and it just kind of starts again, the 15 seconds kind of thing, you know. So it's really nice for that. And then her normal skill, you're not using this for damage. It's very little damage, but it does suck enemies in. And then because it has 2 charges used on top of one another, as well as the sucking zone, you also get a zone that gives dimensional erosion, which in itself reduces crit defense by 10%, which is really nice. And then attack skill, nothing really. Ultimate move, this is the big one. Basically you buff yourself and you change your normal attack into enhanced normal attacks, which goes up to nearly 1200% of your attack. And then the last hit does a big hit as well. But each hit of your boosted enhanced attacks increases your crit damage again by up to 50%. So with this you're getting 40%, and this 50%, you get 90% crit damage by yourself just in her kit, which is huge. And then on top of that, your enhanced normal attacks have another 20% crit chance if they're affected by the dimensional erosion, which they're gonna be, you know. So you're basically getting a free 40% crit chance and 90% crit damage. Like, oh my gosh, insane. So good. And because of that, your ring doesn't, you could even get a double crit damage ring. You don't need the crit chance because you're getting so much anyway. You can just go full out attack, win damage, crit damage, and normal attack damage. That's all you need, right? I've obviously maxed her mastery to get the P4. If you do have P5, you get even more crit chance than crit damage, which it just goes on and on and on with the amount of buffs she gets. Anyway, hopefully that wasn't too long. Let's jump into the battle trial and I can show you the rotation that you want to do. So as with anything, you want to start by buffing with Daisy, and then you can do your auto attack for first strike. You can switch into Hauser, use his skill, and then you switch into this, and you can just basically you burst, and then you switch into Clotho. You're going to do both of your E skills to do that big dimensional thing. You press your Q to self buff, you ult, and then you just hold down your basic attacks, and you just go crazy, like crazy non-stop hits. And you do so much damage because of all the buffs you get. Look at all the buffs at the bottom. Like, it was insane down here, you know. And then when it finishes, I think you just do a big hit. There we go, and it's over. But yeah, you're going to do so much damage because you have so many debuffs on the enemy with everything, and so much buffs on yourself. And as you can see, if you press Q, like, this is what's buffing you, but you can use it again. So even though it's got not multiple charges, you can use it again to move it once, and then it goes on cooldown. So we place this down. It has like a 15-second window that it is up, but then it's got a 23-second cooldown or something. So let's see if we place this now and the cooldown. Look, so yeah, so if you time it right, the downtime of this skill isn't that much at all. You just need to time it right. If you don't have Daisy, you just buff with Manny instead. So I'll see you at Galland.
Twist in a violent spin, black clouds howl as the swarms close in. Clotho stands with a scholar's grin, golden winds tear through armored skin. Red spiders crawl with their jagged claws, steel legs strike with the demon's force. But her storm bends every law, dragging monsters to their loss. Wind screams her name, nothing survives the gale she takes. Fury pulls them tight, Clotho fires beams of spite. Spiders break in airborne fights, red demons vanish in the night. Red armor gleams with a wicked flame. Spike fiends march while they curse her name. Their burning eyes all look the same, but her cyclone turns their charge to shame. Great web snap in the roaring sky, venom rains but the winds rise high. Gatling storms like dragon fireflies, she shreds the horde as the weak ones cry. A spiral sings through the shattered land, every demon crushed by her hand. The storm obeys every calm command, she scatters evil like grains of sand.
So I played quite poorly in some places, and Galland is just so tricky with his mechanics, and you just don't know what he can do. The amount of like vomit on the screen with block and her skills, all the skills. It's so hard to see anything. I so hope that they do something about that. But as you can see, when you got your combo off, and I purposely bursted with her to get the Black Flame buff, and it seems like the wind thing that happens when you burst did a lot more damage with her. She was doing a lot of damage for a P4, so that was quite impressive actually. It took me about an hour to get a run just because of how terrible Galland can be. Him jumping after doing the Galland game, or it's just not, things just didn't go well basically. If he dashed quite a lot, so then I just couldn't hit him with my ultimate. It's tough. I hope when we get sector 3 it'll be a lot better. She'll be better suited for that, but P4 doing that much damage is quite impressive. I'm going to switch her out for Elaine. I'm not going to do a full run with her, but just to showcase Elaine's damage in comparison to her versus Galland, so just so we can see, and then we'll hopefully try and do Spider boss and see her damage there. And depending on the time it takes, I might not do a full run just because it's getting quite late and I want to get this video out for you. So I'll see you back in Galland with Elaine. So as you can see, even like I did all the combo and stuff with the team, pretty much the exact same, just slightly differently, because I did the combo ult instead to get the full burst, and her damage just wasn't nearly as high as Clotho's at P4. So I'm actually quite impressed, because when we did try Elaine out again when Daisy came out, she was doing some really good damage, but maybe because it's Abyss, I don't know. But yeah, I'm really decently impressed with the P4 Clotho. Anyway, let's jump over to Spider and have a go at that and see how that goes really quick, and then we'll kind of discuss what we think. So here we are in the Spider Mines. I had to switch in for Gila because of the spider webs, and I think Hauser was probably the best bet, because we want the crit defense down from Daisy and the crit damage up. I think that overall gives us more than just Hauser's debuff. And wind damage, we'll have to see. Maybe I made the wrong choice and Hauser would be the better option. I think they're both very, very good. Obviously, if you don't have Daisy, I would probably keep Hauser instead and switch Manny out. I've taken a lot of damage here, silly. If you didn't know, after this bit, if you turn right, we've got a little shortcut, so we don't have to do so many of the bosses. Yeah, he's quicker, so let's do this really quick. I wasn't paying attention, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to be a bit cheeky. I'm going to eat some of this grilled meat just to top myself up. And now let's go after this spider.
fields where the swarm is gone. Clotho walks while the storm moves on, cold and wise, like the breaking
dawn. So you kind of saw the damage there. I don't really want to waste more time. I think this is a good enough showcase of what she can do at P4. It's definitely apparent that she's better focused on more stationary targets or a group of targets instead. That has a lot less mobility. Galland and Spider just move too much. And even when we got all the burst stuff on Spider, the damage was a bit lackluster, and I kind of feel a little worried. But this is P4. We've got to remember this is P4. I was relatively impressed with Galland, the damage. We don't have the debuff from Hauser with Spider because we need fire, so that could be a big thing for it. So seesawing about on the fence whether she's pretty cracked DPS or not. I know this is not really a cracked or sacked, but I think we'll do that when the next sector comes out, because then we can fully test it in the late game and really see. But this is kind of a precursor, so you guys know how to build her, kind of how to play her with her staff. Let me know what you think. Do you think she's a pretty decent DPS? Again, I really don't think she's worth summoning. Do skip and save for Elizabeth as she's coming very soon. But yeah, I hope this has helped. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you so much for your support. I did say I'll talk about the giveaway. So I'm planning to give away 3 supply carts. That's the daily gems that you get from the shop, these, to 3 subscribers. So please do subscribe. And how you can enter, as a bit of fun, in the comments, guess how many hours I've played in the game. It doesn't matter, it's not closest wins, whatever, just for a bit of fun. And then underneath that, so say for example, put like 300 hours, or I think you've played 300 hours, anything like that, and then underneath put hashtag giveaway. And then in a week's time I will announce winners and I'll put them in my posts, you know, like how you kind of got the videos and you've got the community post. I'll put in community posts with all 3 winners and with instructions of what you need to do that you've won. This is just a little thank you for all the support. We hit 500 and this is more of a thank you for the 500, and we're nearly at 600, which is fantastic. So thank you so much. I really hope this game can continue and we can have a lot more fun. If not, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. We can find another game, but I really hope we've got a good future here. So that's how you can enter the giveaway. Guess how many hours, hashtag giveaway, and in a week's time, or when the next update, let's say until Wednesday, so not quite a week, just under a week, 6 days time. So the 13th I will announce the giveaway on once that update has happened, and it's just a little thank you to my community. So good luck, hopefully you can win. Yes, you. But until then, I will see you in the next video, hopefully. And yeah, bye.